welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Kristen, and as you're probably able to tell just by the tone and cadence of my voice, I'm feeling under the weather today. I'm coming down with a bit of a cold-like sickness. It's not COVID. I tested myself when the symptoms started showing up, and the test came back negative. So it is some other sort of spring flu, sinus infection, cold, something of the sort. In any case, it is not exactly what I would describe as fun. So if I'm looking a bit rough, it's because I'm feeling a bit rough today. But today's video is a book shopping vlog slash haul. Even though I recorded the bulk of this book shopping vlog 2 weeks ago, I did not record an intro, outro, or book haul portion. So that is what we're here to do today. I went to 2 different bookstores in Dallas with one of my friends a couple weekends ago, and I got quite a few books. I bought 15 books in total, 13 of which being Agatha Christie books. Is anyone surprised? Because you shouldn't be. So yeah, please enjoy the actual book shopping portion of this video. I'll be back in a few minutes to talk about what books I picked up. Alrighty, welcome back. So the first bookshop that I went to was called Lucky Dog, and it's actually, I don't know if you can qualify it as a chain. How many locations does a business need to have to be considered a chain? Lucky Dog has 2 locations in Dallas. They have one in East Dallas and one in South Dallas in the Oak Cliff area. And I went to the East Dallas one. It was the first time me or my friend had been there, and in a rookie move, we did not check the hours of the business we were going to, and they closed at 5 p.m. We got there at 4:30, so didn't have a lot of time in there, but I will go ahead and show you what I did pick up from that bookshop. It was really cool because it was like a maze on the inside. When you look at it from the front, it just looks like it's in like this smallish shopping center and that the inside retail space isn't going to be that big. But then you walk inside and there's like a labyrinth of bookshelves, and there were quite a few rooms packed with books. I was pleasantly surprised. It was very cozy in there and very quiet. There were some people in there, but not a ton. Like I mentioned, we got there pretty much right before close without realizing it. And for anyone that lives in the Dallas area and is thinking about checking out Lucky Dog, they do also accept book exchanges. So if you have books that are in decent condition that you no longer want, or you have an extra copy of that you don't need, you can bring that book into them and they can either give you store credit or swap it for another book. I'm not entirely sure how it works because I didn't bring any books to actually do an exchange, but she did ask me when I checked out if I had any that I wanted to trade. So just putting that out there that is an option at that location. I ended up only getting 1 book at Lucky Dog. It was this collection of H.P. Lovecraft stories. So I've never actually read any of the H.P. Lovecraft stories. This is now my 2nd Lovecraft story collection. I feel like I really need to work it in for October for spooky season. So now I have 2 that I can choose from. This one and the other one that I already own probably have stories that overlap. I don't know for sure what stories were in the other one that I own when I was looking at this one, so I couldn't really tell. The only thing I knew for sure was that this does not have Cthulhu in it, and the other one that I bought does have Cthulhu in it because Cthulhu's on the cover. So really excited to read this when spooky season comes around. I mean, to be honest, every season is spooky season for me because I never stop reading thrillers. You gotta keep it special in some way, and for me, I guess that's saving H.P. Lovecraft for Halloween. So that was the only book that I picked up at Lucky Dog, and I believe it was only like $2 or $3. Yeah, I got this book for $3.85, so pretty much half off the original sticker price, which is not a surprise. I feel like that's generally how a lot of used bookstores work, unless they are like older mass-produced books like Agatha Christie books. They're generally around half of what their original price was. So yeah, that is my 1 book haul from Lucky Dog. Now, moving on to half-price books. I'm not entirely sure how widespread half-price books is. I know it's big in Texas, or at least the Dallas area, but I'm not sure how far it spreads outside of Texas. I should probably look that up. So it does operate in other states, but I'm not sure how widespread it is. But it is headquartered in Dallas, and my friend and I went to the flagship store off of Northwest Highway in Dallas, and it is such a big store. It is huge. I don't know exactly how big the retail space is, but as you've seen in the vlog portion of this video, it is very large. I pretty much only stuck to the mystery, horror, and general fiction sections. I didn't really look much in the vinyl section, and I didn't really look much in the other book genre sections. They had like sci-fi, fantasy, they had all of the different genres that you could possibly want. And I think we ended up spending about 2 hours there, if I remember correctly. We spent a good chunk of time there, and I got a lot of stuff. So at Half Price Books, I ended up buying 17 items in total. 2 of them were not books, and 13 of them were. So let's go ahead and start with the things that are not books. So the first non-book thing that I got was this unofficial Harry Potter word search. So I just thought this would be fun to have. I've already done a couple of the word searches in here. They had an activity book one too, but I kind of just wanted to go with the standard word search and just have it, something to do when I'm bored. If I don't want to watch TV, if I don't want to look at my phone, if I don't want to play on my Switch, if I want to just have a little bit of a puzzle activity that does not involve a screen, I thought that this would be a fun thing to have around. Next up is the only piece of vinyl that I picked up. I don't know how much I've mentioned this on this channel, or if I've mentioned it at all. I do collect vinyl records. I have a record player. I've been collecting vinyl since around 2015, so it's been a hot minute. It's been about 8 years. And one of my favorite things is when I go to a place like Half Price Books or Recycled and I find really good albums for a really good price. And this one was no exception because I found Barbra Streisand's The Way We Were for $5. And I mean, it's iconic. If you don't know the song The Way We Were, I don't know what to do for you. Go to Spotify and listen to it immediately. But in this household, we love Barbra Streisand. And when I saw this album, looking back at me from the end cap in Half Price Books, I had to pick it up. So this was another last minute addition to my cart. And the last non-book related thing that I got at Half Price Books was actually something I didn't even pay for. I got it for free for how much I spent there. Was this cute little tote bag that says, "Go away, I'm reading," in needlepoint. I got to pick between any of their tote bags that they had by the register, and this was the one that spoke to me the most. It says this on both sides, and then on the side it just says Half Price Books. Alrighty, and now for the meat of this book haul. Without further ado, here are the 14 books that I bought at Half Price Books. So the first and only non-Agatha Christie book that I bought was Zadie Smith's On Beauty. I have had multiple Zadie Smith books on my bookshelf for literally years. I am looking at White Teeth right now on my bookshelf, and she has been on my bookshelf since 2016. Now I also have On Beauty to add to my Zadie Smith collection. I've heard really good things about this book. Also White Teeth I've heard really good things about too. So I'm looking forward to reading both of those sometime in the nearish future. Alrighty, and for the remaining 13 Agatha Christie books, I have divided them into the different, I don't know if subgenre is the right word, but that's what I'm gonna go with. I've divided them into the different subgenres. So Half Price Books had a lot of Agatha Christie books. They had the largest amount of used Agatha Christie books that I have seen in one location ever. I thought Recycled Books usually had a pretty good selection. They would have like 5 or 6 every time I went in. I would get a couple new ones that I didn't already own every time that I ventured in there. Half Price Books had like 20. They had so many Agatha Christie books. And yes, I did pretty much clear them out of their entire Agatha Christie stock. Thank you for asking. The only ones that I bought were the ones that I did not own. So I didn't feel too bad doing it because I'm adding to my collection. I'm finding things that I haven't found anywhere else before. I found 13 new to me Agatha Christie books. We'll start with the ones that are more standalones. The first one is Murder is Easy. Now this one has a little bit of a damaged cover. It's missing this bottom corner for some reason. Even so, the rest of it is in pretty good shape. The most I paid for any of these Agatha Christie books was like $3.99. And this one was in the $2 range, so I'm not that mad about it missing this little corner. There are other ones that I have that had worse damage to them that was still fixable, so I'm not really worried about that little corner bit. Next up, we have The Mousetrap and Other Plays. This is, as you would expect, a collection of Agatha Christie's plays, the most famous one being Mousetrap. So for those that don't know, that aren't theater nerds, Mousetrap is the longest running play ever. I think it opened in the 50s and it is still showing. The only time it closed was in 2020 during COVID. It is one of the most successful plays, if not the most successful play to ever be produced. And now I have it in novel form. This is the most expensive Agatha Christie book that I got. It was $3.99, but even so, it's got a lot of content in it, so I'm happy with it. Next up, we have the books that I bought from the Miss Marple collection. I got Nemesis and I got At Bertram's Hotel. And I don't know anything about these two, but those are the two Miss Marple books that I got. Then I bought this Double Sin and Other Stories. This is a short story collection of both Poirot and Miss Marple mysteries, so you get a little bit of a double feature in this one. And lastly, we have the Poirot books that I bought. So I bought Cat Among the Pigeons, There Is a Tide, Elephants Can Remember, The Labors of Hercules, The Mystery of the Blue Train, which I have already read this one, I just don't own it. Death in the Clouds. Dead Man's Folly. And 1-2 Buckle My Shoe. So like I said, these are all Agatha Christie books that I do not own. Some of them I have read, not a lot of them, because there's so many. I now at least have more to add to my collection, and I think my collection's creeping up on like 40 books of hers. So yeah, I have a lot of them, and I'm not even halfway done. Like, I'm not even halfway through her catalog. So we got some room to grow still. So that is the end of the book haul portion of this book shopping vlog. You may hear a dog snoring in the background. Just ignore that as we do the outro. So once again, thank you guys so much for joining me this week, even though I'm feeling a little crummy. I tried to keep it still a little high energy for you so that you're not bored while watching this. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like down below. Subscribe while you're down there. I put out new videos every single Saturday around noon Central Standard Time. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!